Ooh. 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 Does this work? Is this my microphone or is my phone my microphone? Which one is my microphone? You're gonna have to tell me. You're gonna have to tell me if this is my microphone. I mean, these are the earbuds I'm using. I don't know if they're my microphone. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. So basically, um, I'm out here. Where y'all at? I'm out here. No. But let me rotate. Basically, whatever's going on, we're gonna talk about it. Whether it's the Unruh stuff, whether it's the dang stuff, whatever is going on, we're gonna talk about it. We have like 3 people in here. Well, whatever's going on, we're gonna talk about it. I'm pretty sure this is my mic. So, first of all, we'll start off by going over the itinerary of stuff I missed. So I guess the first thing to talk about, I guess I could put my hand off the camera. I guess the first thing, talk about Peru elections. I will in a minute, although I haven't been following them. I'll just give you a warning now, but I'll start off with some stuff on the itinerary. First of all, um, going back to something that I haven't talked about, I'll talk about the Falcone thing. I'll talk about Falcone's stream because I actually watched Falcone's stream. The first thing that I want to say about Falcone's stream is, I ended up watching the entire thing. If it isn't leftism yesterday, it is. What's up? I'm out here. I'm on the block. I'm posted up. I'm active. No, but basically, I watched the entire Falcone stream, and first comment I want to make is that I didn't mean that I started the whole thing between Moppin or I guess between Moppin's audience and Unruh's audience. I don't mean that I necessarily started that, and it may have sounded like I was feeling bad for myself or whatever, but at that point, it's not about feeling bad for myself. I think I really did start it, and I'm not saying that as like, oh, I regret it. I'm so sad that I split the community or whatever, and I'm crying about it because Falcone didn't want me to take credit. I mean, all I'm gonna say about that is that, yeah, stream that started before 2 a.m. It's true. All I'm gonna say is that on that, all I'm gonna say on that is that when Infrared started making content, basically there was a huge division between those who watched Infrared and those who didn't watch Infrared, and there was, of course, the whole burn notice going on. Of course, famously, Unruh didn't take a side in the bird notice, and of course, there were a lot of people who supported Hawes, even though they had witnessed Hawes's behavior, even though they had witnessed Hawes, his behavior towards other MLs, towards other people, his behavior towards me and fellow traveler. I mean, it's completely BS, and the fact that a grown man can come on my content and frankly get it handed to him, okay, get his behind handed to him on my stream, because think about it, he was putting sentences together like Play-Doh. I was over here assembling them like Transformers, my thoughts. I mean, he couldn't even form cohesive thoughts about value, and that's the whole thing about Hawes, which makes him so famous, is the fact that he has thoughts that are almost bumbling, that he has to kind of string together thoughts so incoherently, Yeah, you guys were doing great. 250 viewers watching Hawes right now. Cool. I mean, I'm gonna be on. We're watching Infrared right now. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The second Infrared unironically tried to beg his fans to let him open up a Minecraft server, I lost all respect. Like, really, you're gonna beg a bunch of random people you don't know to let you play video games? And he was even thinking about making a second channel too. That's hilarious. Another thing is that, I mean, I took it down because of copyright reasons, but I mean, it's literally on his channel. You can go watch it. I mean, he claims that it wasn't an ambush, but it clearly was. Appeal to popularity. Vosh gets thousands of viewers per stream. Does that make Vosh a better content creator? Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, that happened, right? So that was the first thing. And then people started to take sides. Some people started to say neutral. And that happened, basically. And then Maupin started to go on Infrared's side, which personally really pissed me off because even Maupin would later go on to completely disassociate his views from, or would go on to disassociate from Haas. It's so funny how he has Haas on his live stream, and then like 5 minutes later, he's talking about how he's disassociating from the CP USA 2036 people, how even though they're using his slogan, this is a tweet you can look up, he's not associating with them anymore. So yeah, I mean, that's hilarious. Maybe you shouldn't have associated with them in the first place. Yeah, it's crazy. So that was the main thing, right? So I guess even Caleb Maupin, Caleb Maupin's a smart guy, don't get me wrong, but even him, who I'm going to say he has a massive ego, even he could recognize that being with Haas was such a destructive, nonsensical thing to do. I mean, what good has Haas even done besides... remember when he was relevant? Like, he would go on to RedTube and, scream, and then they passed him around because he was the local locale, and then eventually they got bored of him and they moved on. Like, what is... it's so hilarious how we're lacking, guys. Like, we're out here and we're lacking. Like, Vosh actually went on Kyle Kalinski's show, and Kyle Kalinski's over here giving Vosh a high five, and we're over here fighting with each other internally. It's so hilarious. So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, okay, moving on, since Chris brought it up. Now let's talk about the whole China thing and the whole Dang split and whatever. So, Falcone released a series about parties and institutions that aren't your friends. And let me make this clear. I don't have an anti-Dang crusade, I guess. I don't have an anti-Dang struggle. My real beef with Dangus comes from the fact that I've never had a real conversation with Dangus before. I've never had a real scientific talk with Dangus. Like, all the times I've talked with Dangus, it's about drama. It's about, like, the majority of the Dangists who have a problem with me don't like me because I uploaded that video of that meme of Caleb Maupin. So that's basically the bar, right? So that's why I have a problem with it. That's why I have a problem with them. And the fact that they get entertained so much is... Now, it depends on how you define it, right? Depends on how you define a Dangus. You can define anything to mean anything. But I guess what I mean a Dangus is... I don't even mean people who believe that China is on some kind of NEP. China is on some kind of transition. There are people out there like Maupin who think that China is fully socialist right now and is going to stay that way. That's my beef. That's my issue. So, yeah, teenage cult following. Someone's shooting. Teenage cult following. That's really what it is, guys. At the end of the day, I mean, it's hilarious, guys. Teenage cult following. That's what it is. So, yeah, anyway, going on. Basically, we had that happen. And some of Unruh's recent videos. Let's talk about that really quick. Let's talk about some of Unruh's recent videos. We've got that pan-Europeanism video. Now, personally, I'm gonna be honest. Unruh, I don't know. I mean, Unruh has been focusing way too much on race. Like, Unruh has definitely, and I know he's going to clarify that it's not race, it's ethnicity. But let's be honest, to a lot of people, race and ethnicity are essentially the same thing. I mean, black is not, black is such a, it's so funny, like, when you say black is such a meaningless term. Like, there's a black ethnicity in the United States, but, basically my problem comes down with this. Black is valid to Jason Unruh, but white is a meaningless term. And it's basically the old problem that has always been applied. And it's been the problem that Nosvols have been asking forever is, why is black a valid identity, but white isn't? And then he basically went on to dismantle the idea of whiteness, and he basically upheld the idea of ethnicities and nationalities. Like, he was saying Polish isn't white, but Polish is Polish. and people are Polish, for example, and people are Polish Americans. And then he started talking about this idea of Irish Americans going back, and I think he really gets that idea through Dark Snovia, I guess. So I don't know. I mean, it's such a weird concept to talk about. You guys are young. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty young. I mean, I'm pretty young. I mean, it doesn't really matter how young I am, right? Like Hawes is comparatively my age at the end of the day. So, no, I mean, yeah, I'm young, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is the facts you spit. Okay? All that matters is the fact. I mean, like, let's be honest. I think personally, you should have at least gone through some parts of life. Like, you should have I think you should get it before you start speaking about this stuff. I think you should get a job, you should pay taxes, and you should own some kind of property or asset paid off, like a car. That's what I really believe you should have before you try to tell people other people what to do, I guess. You know what I mean? Because I know when you don't have those experiences, like for example, when you've never purchased a piece of property before in your life, or you've never had the experience of actually working in a office environment or just in a work environment and then paying taxes, and like me, passing your stimulus check back to the government because you owe $2,000 in taxes and they just gave you $1,400, just giving it right back to them. If you've never had those experiences, then I don't know how equipped you are to talk. Western Dangism, aka Dangism. Yeah, I'm 44 and come from an ML family. Seen these things, U.S. split forever. It's not much of a movement beyond. It isn't much beyond movement immaturity. It is. We are walking out here. What's up? All right. We are walking out here. We are walking out here. Okay. Can Mel on Twitter stop embarrassing himself for 2 minutes? I don't know who that is. Who's Mel on Twitter? Yeah, anyway. We're at this little park here. Yeah, I'm walking. I need some cardio. But yeah, anyway, so I personally feel like the ethnicity stuff or the racial stuff, I'm not going to pretend to understand everything Unruh says when it comes to those theories. I'm trying to cover the mic from the wind, guys. I'm not going to pretend to understand everything that he talks about with those theories, but I don't know. I mean, personally, I feel like people should be educated on the economics of the left before even participating in some of those ideas. Because when you get into those ideas, it's not scientific at all. You can't measure it. Like, you can't go back and say this is a particular period in which generalized commodity production arose from feudal society, because instead of having just small-scale commodity producers and middle-class sellers, we actually switched to we actually switched away from what's the word? Just production for production for use, and instead moved towards production for profit. We see stuff like that, right? And Marx specifically points this out. We also see primitive accumulation. This is all scientific stuff, guys. Like, these are real historical dates. Like, it would be a bit of a research dive, but I can tell you when capitalism in the UK started, for example. I mean, Marx literally does that with primitive accumulation, right? That's what the point of the last half of Capital Volume 1 is for. So, that Korean Juche chick with the big butt. Yeah. I mean, wasn't Falcone gonna upload a video like the DPRK is not your friend or something? I don't know. I would have to watch that. Oh, guys, didn't Pogan change his name to like New American Left or something? I mean, I know I had a bunch of people talking about, oh, you called Pogan a genius or something, and Pogan actually turned into like this Vosh fan or whatever. I mean, I'm gonna give some context real quick. I've known who Pogan is for about 3.5 years now. Pogan isn't really an ML. Pogan isn't really a political debater. I know him more from philosophy. He debates religion, and he used to be good friends with this guy called Jack Angstrike, who I was a huge fan of. I don't know if he's still active or whatever. Yeah, Pogan did. He's being a huge coward, but his videos are getting better quality-wise. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Because the problem is that when I knew Pogan, he had a green skull for a profile picture. He would always sit on philosophical discords, and he would always talk about being an ML. And he was extremely smart. He is an extremely smart guy. But I don't know what the fuck he's doing now. I mean, honestly, guys, I think he's selling out for those BreadTube bucks. Pogan's an ideology shopper and a coward. I think he is an ideology shopper. Because back when I used to know him, he used to have a green scroll profile picture. He would call himself an ML. And he definitely understands what the labor theory of value is. He definitely understands what being an ML is. But honestly, I feel like he's a clout chaser. I mean, I offered to talk to him, and I haven't heard anything. Falcone offered to talk to him. Now, I think I would be a lot better at talking to him, to be honest, because I guess I would have to understand. Like, what? Like, does he believe in the LTV anymore or something? He seems like a trend hopper. He rebranded from Pogan to New American Left because he wanted to distance himself from a right-wing past. That's weird as hell. Because I don't remember him being right-wing. I remember him being ML. So that's weird. Yeah, anyway, if Pogan's going to debate anyone, I want Pogan to debate me. Because, like, because I actually followed him. I have been following Pogan longer than anyone on here. I'll just say that. So, like, basically, he used to be on, there's this Discord server called, there's this guy called Tom Unboxes, and his name's Tom Rabbit, and he owns this massive Discord full of, like, I'm gonna be honest, it's boomers, and basically all they do is sit around and talk about religion and philosophy all day. But that's basically where he was for a while. Look at that. Look at that. I dropped my proteins. I dropped my protein. But yeah, anyway, he was basically on that for a while, right? He was on that server for a while, and that's basically where he talked to a lot of people at. The new left is glow up. It's true. He's not interested. Yeah, I mean that's what he's gonna do, right? Like he's just chasing clout. He's just chasing he's just ideology shopping. He's looking for clout. Like, didn't he go on Vosh's stream and talk to him or something? Like, okay, if Pogan was intellectually honest, he would watch my talk with Vosh and he would immediately know how retarded Vosh is. Like, he would immediately see how stupid Vosh is. And then he would immediately disassociate from Vosh. So, I don't think I can tab out of here. He has a girlfriend who's a sociologist, red flag. Pogan does? That's weird, dude. Sociology is a meme degree. It's like communications. It's one of those meme degrees. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, guys, I want Unruh to do that stream. I want Unruh to do that stream where we all go on and talk because, I mean, I just in particular have a lot of things to say. Like, there's the revolutionary pan-Europeanism versus revolutionary pan-American thing going on right now. I mean, all these pan movements are a little bit silly. I'm not gonna lie. These pan-nationalist movements are a little bit silly. I mean, if we're not lying to ourselves, a lot of ML history was born out of nationalism. I mean, most obviously would be Vietnam. But, there are a lot of other, I mean, like, most people would say, oh, but what about China? And, they would try to make, basically, like, fascist China out to be what I'm trying to imply I want. It's hilarious. But in reality, nationalism has a huge part to play because you need to unite on a common identity. And I don't think ethnicity or race is the common identity because it's absolutely unquantifiable. Like, what really makes someone, I don't know, it not only is it unquantifiable, but it's also unreliable to have as your sort of marker. A criminology degree is the education you need in order to be a Fed. Yeah, you need a degree to become a Fed. You can't become, like, if you want to become a cop, you can get a GED and become a cop, but to become a Fed, you have to get a degree. When did Pogan become a market socialist? I don't remember because Pogan used to shill cockshot more than anyone on here. So the national question defines everything that is happening right now. Otto Bauer in the National Autonomy defines intersectionality in the new left. Yeah. I mean, there's so many random new terms, guys. There's so much random new vocabulary, like American Leninism or whatever. It's so hard to, like, I'm like, it's just, like, I don't think I've ever heard, I don't think I've ever had the term American Leninism defined for me. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the big term that Red Scare pushes, but I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't really watch these guys. Like, I don't really watch Obnoxious, Red Scare, Obnoxious. Well, I already said Obnoxious. I don't watch Obnoxious. I don't watch Red Scare. I don't watch. And it's not that I don't like them. I mean, I've never really met them or talked to them. I mean, I would watch Deadman because I had a good conversation with him, but he doesn't make videos. It's all just internet stuff. It is internet stuff at the end of the day, and that's why I've kind of been inactive. Like, I was trying to explain my position because I actually met someone in real life very recently. That's yeah, I basically actually met someone in real life who has like a very, very surface level understanding of all this. Who's a very, very smart person, but has a very surface level understanding. And I'm not saying that to be demeaning. It's just, it's a big rabbit hole we're all in. And, when I think about it, we are the most anti-marketable people out there. Because what have we done? I'm not going to lie, guys. We've split into these weirder and weirder little sects. I think Jason Unruh has, to be honest. I think Moppin has. I think we all have. We like 3 years ago, guys. None of this drama was happening 3 years ago. By the way, dangism. It's true. None of this drama was happening 3 years ago. None of this stuff was happening 3 years ago. We didn't get these kind of splits and arguments 3 years ago. 3 years ago, Unruh was talking to Moppin, and it was perfectly fine, and we were all fans. We were all happy. I was giving money to Moppin. I was asking Moppin questions. It was all good. Nowadays, like Unruh will say, for example, oh, there's no Unruh Moppin split. Well, it's like, yeah, you, Jason Unruh, and the other individual, Caleb Moppin, you may not have a problem with each other superficially, but your audiences do. They split up over the Hawes thing. I know plenty of MLs who split up over the Hawes thing because he was just so divisive. He let petty internet drama get to him, and I don't know, guys, it's so hilarious. Like, I made $3,000. Like, it's so funny. He wants to flex or whatever, but I made $3,000 on Snapchat. So he wants to flex. I made $3,000 on Snapchat story. So he's not flexing anything right now. So it's funny, dude. China stands are hilarious. I didn't know Dangus even existed until 2016. I'm trying to get an interview with Moppin. B-level is my meal ticket. I will talk to Moppin. Yeah. I mean, it's so hilarious, right? Like, fellow, like, I'm going to be honest. Moppin has never apologized for anything in his life. What has Moppin ever apologized for? I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not, my goal isn't to be the Moppin destroyer or the Moppin dick rider or whatever. Like, I just want, at the end of the day, guys, I just want this stupid internet ideology splitting to be over with. I've never called myself anything but an ML. I've never called myself an MLM. I've never called myself a third worldist. I don't call myself that because when you get into these stupid completely unproductive book club discussions, you get absolutely nowhere, right? Like, yeah, it's fun to argue about dangism or whatever, but at the end of the day, if we don't have a common identity, we're getting nowhere. There's strength in numbers, guys. There's power in numbers. And the more we continue to split like this, the weaker we're going to be. What's up, Neon? What's up, Big Tasty? LT, I get your respected, but none of this is new. In the 90s when I was in college, the same splits happen. It's just movement immaturity. Yeah, it's true. Marxist Unionist, something. I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. The Marxist Union can't exist, but everyone on here is so immature. That's the thing, right? That's the thing. Because if you think about it, where does the split come from? The split comes from the fact that I am so immature or you are so immature, or any of us are so immature that we allow such a minor disagreement, such as what kind of not mode of production, but what kind of economic system a country across the world, China, is operating in. We let something as irrelevant as that split us apart. And that's what it is, guys. It's not because the theory, it's not like we're trying to do red brown alliance or whatever. It's because at the end of the day, people are so incredibly immature that they do that stuff. And the prime example of that is Haas. The prime example of that really is Haas. Like, there is no bigger example of that. Like, remember when he was decorating Caleb Maupin so hard? He would go on and scream about people who hated Caleb Maupin. Now Caleb Maupin's dissociating with him, right? So what does he do? Oh, he just kind of backs down. Yo, what's up, Neon? Take the egoist doomer pill. Egoism is retarded, dude. That kind of, egoism is stupid. Egoism is a joke. Any kind of extreme liberalism is a joke. I actually had to read The Fountainhead in high school. That was pretty funny. The PSL is a joke. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it is. I'm gonna be honest, guys. A lot of people talk shit about the DSA, but I've met more nice people in the DSA than I've ever met on the internet. I guess people are really nice in the DSA. So you can meet people. Spookman bad. It's true. But yeah, anyway, that's my point. Here's the secret to being an MO. If people accept class struggle and are anti-imperialistic and can see social democracy as fascism, they are comrades. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that we can fight, right? It's a circle of BS. It's a circle of immaturity. Like, you say something, I get mad. I say something, you get mad. It's just a circle of immaturity. Now, what are we doing to combat this? Well, we have to disassociate from people who won't reach out and see unity, right? Because for all the people who love Infrared, I had to go on and I had to debate Infrared. I apologize to Infrared. I was trying to make amends with Infrared. What does Fellow Traveler do? Fellow Traveler goes on Infrared's stream. Fellow Traveler apologizes to Infrared. Fellow Traveler says, hey, let's put down the beef. Infrared refuses and starts screaming like an idiot. So what does that say? That says to me that Infrared just wants e-drama. That doesn't say E4Red is what I should call him. That doesn't say that he's actually interested in discussion. And you know what? At the end of the day, guys, it's kind of the same thing with Maupin, because you do something like that with Maupin, he doesn't scream back at you, he blocks you, right? End all discussion. So that's what it is. Is Pierre Trudeau still an egoist? I don't know. Pierre Trudeau is like 2016 shit. I mean, he left a long time. He stopped being active a long time ago. I don't really have much thought. I don't really give much thought to meme channels, to be honest. DSA Pol Pot is caucus win. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, it's getting cold as fuck. How long am I on? 28 minutes? I wish I could... Okay, good. That's just another notification. Infrared is so weird with how he acts. Overly good faith with right-wingers, then acts bad with lefties. Well, why is it that someone like Vosh, or why is it that someone like sexual harasser done left can go on his stream or whatever and get his ear, but I can't, or FT can't? I mean, it's the same problem with Maupin. Like, did you see how Maupin treated that Augustus Caesar, Caesar's Legion New Vegas guy? Okay, did you guys see how he treated him? He's standing there. I have my suit on. Let me move my hands a bunch. Trade me some emeralds. I'm gonna be so kind to you. Meanwhile, I upload a stupid video about him. What is it? He's blocking me. He's blasting me on Twitter. So it's just that, guys. It's just e-celeb drama at the end of the day. That's what they want. Because they're like that, guys. They're seriously like that. I know. I have seen a million people like that before. He's doing college right now. I'm contacting him if you want his Discord. Who, Pogan? Or Infrared? I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I would be a lot more comfortable debating Infrared than Pogan, because Pogan is I'm like, you can flame me all you want, but I've known Pogan longer than all you other guys. Pogan is a lot scarier of opponent for me than Infrared. Pogan would destroy Infrared in a debate about pretty much anything. Because Pogan's very smart. If I had a debate Pogan... Oh, Pierre? Oh, I don't know. It's so funny how I used to watch people like Pierre back in the day, before I had a channel or whatever, before I had clout. Now I can talk to people like Pierre, I guess. I got that 1,000 subscriber clout. What if Caleb Maupin did a debate in a gimp suit? I would have more respect for him if he did that, to be honest. Shadow reveal? What's good? Pogan has a new channel, if I call correctly. Yeah, he calls himself New American Left. New American Chill. Joe Biden is. Real praxis is when you pander to right-wingers and wear a suit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, guys. Like, watch him go debate that one fascist guy. Like, what was his name? Culture Thug or whatever. Watch him go debate him and have a civil conversation with him. And you know what? That's who Caleb Maupin respects at the end of the day. Caleb Maupin has more respect for those kind of right-wing fascist people than he does quote-unquote ultra-left people. It's the truth. He has more respect for him. Because why wouldn't Caleb Maupin just block a fascist? Why would Caleb Maupin talk to a fascist and give good faith arguments to a fascist instead of giving good faith arguments to us? Instead of giving good faith arguments to fellow traveler? Because he respects fascism more than he does us. You know? There are idiots out here who respect fascism more than us. Infrared respects fascism more than us. Infrared respects fascism more than Maoism. You know why? Because Infrared was flaming fellow traveler for wearing a red star hat. Hey, retard, red star is the symbol of socialism, historically. Just like the hammer and sickle are symbols of socialism. Just like the crescent is a symbol, and green are symbolisms in Islam. The red star is a symbol of socialism. So, hey, retard, you don't even know your own history. So he's flaming him. He's calling him a Maoist. He's calling him ultra-left, a LARPer, or whatever, because he's wearing a hat. Meanwhile, he's going on VR chat. Meanwhile, he's trying to open up a Minecraft server. You're nothing, dude. You're a manlet. Get out of here. You're a manlet. Go and take a shower. See you later. See you later, Big Tasty King. A queen. That was a good post, queen. Politically provoked and Big Papa fascist is a grift for Andrew to solve his midlife crisis. Yeah, Big Papa. Fellow travel praxis is when you only accept anything that is called left and ignore conservatives. No, I mean, they're doing the opposite. They're ignoring anything that's called left and only accept conservatives. They're doing the opposite of what you just said. They're only accepting conservatives. They're only accepting conservatives and they're shutting out anyone who's quote-unquote left. That's what they're doing. So, yeah, I mean, I got that out of the way. And there's a reason why I won't say that stuff about B-Level or about Noah, right? Because I've talked to B-Level and Noah privately. I've talked to them before. And do I agree with them on a lot of issues? No. But they're not like this, right? B-Level doesn't go around screaming at people for internet points. There's a reason why B-Level isn't as popular as Infrared, and that's because Infrared is a showman. What he does is scream at people for views. That's all he does. What he does is act like a retard for views. People are laughing at Infrared. Like I watch Infrared, I'm laughing at him. I'm watching at how stupid he is. Why does Infrared never show up? Why does Infrared never pull up to the block where I'm at? Right? Why does Infrared never come around here? Okay, on my channel. Why does Infrared never do that? Because the last time I did, I spanked him. He looked stupid as hell. He looked dumb as hell. He didn't know anything. He thought surplus value was undefinable. He thought surplus value wasn't defined by Marx, clearly. So he's an idiot. Like, clearly he's an idiot. Clearly he's never read. Maupin Navash. Biden is not communist just because reps call him that. Also, Maupin. Pompeo called China ML checkmate ultras. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's the same logic, Specky. It's true. I mean, that's literally what he does. Maupin is so hypocritical, guys. Maupin will quote Engels, where Engels says that socialism is when you have... So a part of socialism is having a planned, rationalized command economy He'll quote Engels on that. And then he'll turn around and start talking about how beautiful markets are. He'll start talking about the same conservative talking points. How nobody in the USSR could get their, Air Force Ones, Like, Maupin literally has the iPhone argument. Maupin literally does the Venezuela iPhone argument, and people are supposed to take him seriously. I wish I could criticize these views directly to Maupin's face, but I'll never be able to because he blocked me and shut me out from his circle. Maupin wants those Air Force Ones, guys. That's what it is. He wants to post on Instagram wearing his new Air Force Ones. I mean, that's literally the argument he makes. So, yeah, anyway. That's the kind of arguments that he makes, guys. And what happens? He breeds cultists. He breeds people who swear allegiance to him, like Hitler. It's hilarious. And yes, I am going there. Godwin's law. Give everyone a private jet. Give everyone $1 billion. Aren't we all, socialist billionaires? Give everyone a private jet. It's so stupid, guys. Most people are stressed in the U.S. because they don't make enough money. They have to buy everything off of credit because their taxes are so incredibly high, because they work too many hours, because they have to worry about all these bills. That's why everyone's stressed. And Maupin is over here wanting to give everyone a private jet. It's so hilarious. It defies all logic at the end of the day. Unironically, horseshoe theory does apply to Mahaz and Maupin. It's just hilarious, guys. It's hilarious how these people think. It's hilarious that you'll never actually be able to confront these people with real arguments. Remember when Haas said that value can't be defined? Remember when I literally opened volume 1 and showed him the sentence where Marx defines value clearly? Remember that? Oh no, we don't remember that because we would rather watch Haas play Minecraft or something. That's what it is, guys. Like, don't try to use numbers. Don't try to use popularity as an argument because people play Fortnite and shit, dude. Don't say that, okay? Quality is not dictated by how many people are behind you. What, like 70 million people voted for Trump? Like, don't even, use the number argument because it's a bad argument, guys. It's unironically a logical fallacy. Why not socialist billionaires? Why not socialist trillionaires? I guess Maupin is pro-poverty. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Maupin tries to apply the noble savage argument. Everyone knows that the theory of the noble savage is bullshit. Everyone knows that. So Maupin tries to apply that to quote-unquote pro-poverty MLs, MLs that are pro-poverty. So if you are against exponential, exploding, ridiculously out of control growth that is also consequentially bringing ridiculous amounts of high inequality, then you are pro-poverty. What a bunch of BS. You know what's pro-poverty to me? Privatizing literally everything in Africa. Well, I mean, Maupin isn't pro-privatizing, but come on. Look at what system Africa has. Africa isn't planning their economies. Africa's privatizing everything. Seems like markets don't work. Seems like markets don't efficiently. That's the problem with Adam Smith, right? Adam Smith thought that if we had markets, we could most efficiently deliver goods to where they needed to go at the lowest price possible with perfect competition. Okay, Adam Smith wasn't the devil or whatever. Adam Smith genuinely thought that. That's not how it panned out at the end of the day because we got imperialism. The seesaw is not going to be 50-50. We're never going to see perfect competition. We're never going to see the lowest prices possible. We're never going to see any of that. We're worried about automation because we live in a system that enslaves so many people. And what's going to happen when those people aren't able to get their sustenance anymore? When those people aren't able to earn a wage because they're out of jobs due to automation? Well, you can't really be a slave anymore, can you? So what are you going to do? Collect welfare? Be on Section 8? I don't know. That's just how it is. So that's just how it is, guys. Those are my grievances with everything going on. Those are my issues. I mean, you can't really come here and expect, you can't, so many people come on this platform and they get 4,000 subscribers or whatever. They get 30 or 26,000 or whatever Moppin has. They don't use it for good use. They don't use that as a weapon. They don't use that as a tool. Instead, they use that to collect super chats or whatever, to open Minecraft servers. It's BS. So, corporations behave like internationally planned economies. The markets come in between the firms, but within the firms, it's central planning. Within firms, we already have central planning. I mean, there's the book People's Republic of Walmart. I haven't read it, but I'm going to read it. Firms already centrally plan within. Essentially, what firms are little islands of central planning in the chaos of the market, which is like a grand desert. Haas Moppin are purely led by geopolitical considerations, not ideology. This is why their views are so twisted and openly incoherent. Yeah. I mean, it's true. You're right. You're right at the end of the day. They are. They're led by what's current, by what's new. It's so opportunistic. It would be such a great opportunity to start, blindly following, especially because my job depends on it, by the way. It would be such a great opportunity to start blindly following and chilling for China. It would be such a great opportunity to start doing that. You know why? Because China, isn't it the most populated nation on earth? It has this extreme economy, this war machine behind it. It's building all these artificial islands. It's rolling through Africa. Okay? Regardless if you think the Chinese activities in Africa are beneficial or not, it's still putting its hand in Africa. You think China's not getting any insurance policy out of Africa? Come on. It's ridiculous. They're expanding. I mean, personally, guys, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think all these UFO sightings, I unironically think that's the Chinese. I'm not even going to lie. Like, call me a xenophobe, call me, I don't know, Tucker Carlson, call me whatever you want. But seriously, guys, I mean, that may sound crazy, but think about what we were doing to the Soviet Union. Spy planes? A spy plane is a UFO to the USSR. And we were doing that kind of stuff all the time. China, okay, has incredible technology. You think they wouldn't do that to the Western world? I mean, aren't all these UFOs showing up in the Western world anyway? Or maybe they're not getting released by China, but whatever. If you apply that to Caleb, you have to apply that to Jason too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Jason, I believe he can make a comment or uphold an ideology and not be accountable with his job. I mean, that's what I believe. Like, yeah, he has to make comments for Press TV. But I don't know, guys. I think Jason is a lot more free to speak. I know, for example, fellow traveler and I and others, Falcone, regardless if you agree or disagree with us, our beliefs are ultimately our own opinions. We do not get them from some kind of funding or corruption or something. No, China's doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They want to develop the productive forces of Africa. Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. You really think that China isn't, laying the seeds for themselves in Africa? I don't know, guys. It's just, I don't trust China. China has, unironically, has a rap sheet of human rights abuses. It's scary, the stuff that goes down in China. Now, I understand how much propaganda there is about China, but come on. Let's be honest. We do not, okay, the United States is probably one of the worst developed countries when it comes to rights, when it comes to the freedoms. Well, I mean, it kind of depends, but the United States is one of the, it depends on where you're at in the United States, but for the majority of the people, the United States is the worst developed country to live in. Okay, the worst developed country to live in. But the civil liberties we enjoy here are monumentally greater than that of China. Okay? There are certain things that we enjoy here that China does not have. And, I mean, you might be wondering, what do I mean by that? And of course Caleb Moppin will say, well, that's not, if I acknowledge that, but look at how, socialist they are. Well, the problem is that it fails both those prongs of the test. Not only is China acting to defy the civil rights of Chinese people, but they can't even pass the test of at least being a socialist country. Like there's no question that the DPRK violates a lot of rights of citizens that we would have here in America. There's no question about that. There's no question that the DPRK government is more intrusive on its citizens' lives than the United States or some other liberal country here in Western Europe. But the DPRK does so many things that we don't. The DPRK has so many guarantees in its constitution that China does not, right? Housing, food, water, all of these things, basic human amenities. So, are you memeing? Like the right to die of a tooth infection. Is this a joke? No, I mean it's not a joke, guys. If you actually if you actually study the law, I'm not going to claim to be a lawyer or whatever, but I'm not even going to claim to be someone who studied the law for a great period of time. But you seriously cannot tell me that the United States does not have, or a lot of other Western liberal countries, does not have better civil rights than China. You seriously cannot tell me that. So anyway, my point is that the DPRK is the last socialist country on earth, and it's sad. Yeah, I agree. The point is that even though the DPRK violates a lot more of its citizens' civil rights than America does, at least it passes that prong test. At least it gives its citizens amenities that they actually need to survive. You know? China allowed BlackRock and private U.S. banks last year. It's just another look to global capitalism. Yep. That's what it is, guys. Gucci stores below hammers and sickles. Dangism is a corruption. Dangism is not a development. Dangism is not a new stage. Deng is not the fit head. Deng destroyed China at the end of the day. And China is nowhere near to this NEP stance. So, LMAO, simultaneously being pro-American civil rights in defending DPRK, but being anti-China for lacking supposed civil rights. Yeah, did you not just hear what I said? So I want to take the civil rights of Americans, because Americans do have civil rights, by the way. If you actually look at laws, Americans do have civil rights. Now, you may say, well, what about cops violating civil rights? Look, cops, anyone could become a cop, right? You need a GED to become a cop. In a lot of police departments, especially in poor neighborhoods, they'll accept anyone, okay? I know when it comes to law enforcement what I'm talking about. It's a lengthy process to become a cop. You have to pass psychological evaluations. You have to pass polygraph tests. You have to know basic high school math. You have to go through a lot of, you have to be physically fit, go through the academy. Then you have to get hired by a police department or a sheriff's office to actually become a police officer or sheriff's deputy. But at the end of the day, guys, if you actually look at the law, if the laws were perfect in America, we have great civil rights. Okay, we really do. We have really, really good civil rights afforded to us. The right to let me tell you something, because we're spoiled. The right to remain silent, the Fifth Amendment, is extremely powerful. The Fifth Amendment does not exist in other nations. Other nations, you don't have a right to remain silent. You don't. You don't have a right for representation. You don't have a right to due process. So, bro, are you defending the police? No, dude. I mean, that was a couple minutes ago. So, no, okay. So obviously you don't understand. There's a difference between the law and the police, right? Because the police do stupid shit all the time. The police, they arrest people for like obstruction, failure to identify, even though they don't actually suspect criminal activity. I mean, there's no federal law about failing to identify, but there is state law. In basically all 50 states, you have to suspect, even in stop and identify states, you have to suspect someone of criminal activity. A lot of police don't do that. But with the way that our civil liberties are written, and it depends on what state you're in, but we are afforded very good civil liberties here in the West. We are. They're not enforced properly. I'll totally agree to that. But we are afforded very good civil liberties. In China, you don't have this. You don't have the Fourth Amendment in China. You really think you have a right in China against preventing warrants without preventing searches and seizures without a proper warrant, court ordered, signed by a judge. You think you have that in China? Of course you don't. You don't have that in the DPRK either. But my point is that the DPRK is a socialist country. China is not, right? So China fails both tests. And that's one of the few perks of America. We got some decent constitution rights, and America is pretty good at free speech. Yes, the Supreme Court is the Supreme Court is extremely good at defending our basic rights that we can find in the Bill of Rights. The Supreme Court is extremely good at defending, especially the First Amendment in particular. The Supreme Court has a long history of defending the First Amendment vehemently. An example of this is free speech, right? Now, of course, there's the doctrine of fighting words. You can't use words to initiate an altercation. You can't use words to physically intimidate. But in the Supreme Court, we've already established the famous saying that one man's vulgarity is another man's lyric. That does not exist in China, okay? China has censored speech. So you may be saying, okay, well, that's the civil side of China. What about the economic side? Well, at the same time, China, in a lot of cases, workplaces are vehemently worse than the United States. So call that whatever you want. Call that, what part of the Chinese Constitution allows slavery? I mean, I don't know if China has an equivalent to that. I don't know. I don't know if China has an equivalent to that. The Supreme Court is super pro-capitalist right now. Disagrees strongly. Defending the First Amendment equals defending citizens united. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I mean, it's so funny how people think. Because at the end of the day, guys, the Supreme Court, it's a capitalist institution. But the Supreme Court has afforded us a lot of liberties. If you actually look at what a citizen in the United States can do versus a citizen in China or a lot of other Asian countries can do, it's hilarious how broad our civil rights are. It's actually hilarious how much more amenities were afforded. Other countries, you don't have a right to representation. Okay? Basically, China has forced labor, and if you're in prison, Chinese criminal law still stipulates that prisoners are able to work and shall accept education and reform through labor. Yeah. I mean, literally the equivalent of what we have here, right? So, in the United States, if you go to prison, you forfeit your freedom and you become a slave, essentially. So, all right, guys, I'll have to see you guys later. I gotta go. It's getting late. I gotta go, guys. I'll see you guys later. Anyway, peace out, guys. How do I end this?